things the man said might have been a bit misconstrued, but the Minister of Finance has now categorically come out to say that there is no increment in the tax.
Yeah, it's important that we get this kind of clarifications from time to time, especially with the way things are going in Nigeria. We know that we're not in isolation of what's happening in the world, but the truth is a whole lot of stuff is going down in Nigeria. And when you come across an interview written, and now like people watch, sadly the media, some people are deliberately distorting information, some parts of the media and some non-trained media people. But the bottom line is that a lot of people really don't take time to research, to read, or find out, the source or authenticity of the news that they are consuming. And that's what we're trying to do at the bar, to show you, how facts can be disseminated, without sentiments. Now, when the tax man himself had spoken, you would see different headlines from the same interview. Sadly, it's reported speech because they were not even the ones that interviewed him. It was, on another media platform. However, beyond whatever I said or whatever might have been misconstrued, it will be completely dangerous for any government, especially this one, the President Tinubu government, to now come up with any form of tax increment in any shape or form. There was something nice that he had said that I really respect. He said something about how the bulk of Nigeria's taxes were being paid by the poorer Nigerians. Like the richer people were not paying as much tax as not so rich people. And of course, they're trying to change that and shift that. A lot of people will look at it like, it's a double speak, But if they can pull that off, it will make a lot of sense, So taxing the already overtaxed people will only just probably just even put the country into full chaos. We're still grappling with the issue of an astronomical increase in the cost of fuel, especially petrol, which is our lifeblood in Nigeria. Virtually every household depends on petrol for one thing or the other, especially transportation and power generation. So you now add one kobo tax, even perceived itself, will have people aggravated and agitated, and you really can't determine what the outcome would be. So it's good that the federal government has quickly come out to nip it in the bud, but I hope that this one also goes viral with the one that's talked about how VAT was going to go up and everything.
It's not going to. There's no point.
Interestingly, I walked down to the office with a friend today, very deep mind, my friend. And it was like, why do people always expect good news to go viral? That good news,
it won't.
It won't, because it's normal. That is bad news that has now become the new normal, is the abnormal, but people would react to the abnormal than against the normal. And I know the angle that is coming from. Like, if you tell people now that, man, Nigeria has achieved 1,000 level in sports. But it's the time that one Nigerian was asked to pay bribe to get a job. It's because we have made the abnormal normal and the normal abnormal. And that's why good news will not travel far.
And I think funny enough, I don't think it's a Nigerian thing. I think that it just happens all over the world generally. I think bad news just travels far.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a Nigerian thing. If you broaden your scope and say, yeah, let's take it out. And that's why last week when Mr. Bill Gates was quoted as saying that Nigerians don't pay enough tax, Oga, read the room. We're not even trying to hear that now. Yes, we need more IGR, but there's this.
But he was probably just saying it.
Nobody wants to hear from him. I'm hungry. And you're telling me most Nigerians are hungry. Oga, we know we are hungry. The point is, are you giving us food? Do you understand? Come with the solutions. Sorry about that. Come with the solutions. Nigeria are not trying to hear any story. At this point in time in our lives, people just want solutions. People want to live a better life. And there's already this orientation that they can't change anything about anymore. A lot of us really believe in the fact that, government owes us. It's our commonwealth. We're quick to say, oh, it's our commonwealth, and I get that. But if you disabuse your mind from that thinking, and you look at scaling up yourself and your immediate environment, you will not need to recourse to the commonwealth.
It won't be as much. Yes, you won't really need it as much. I think I get what you're saying. Now, moving on from that, just wanted to, since we're talking in that regard, now the federal government has now announced that there's an exemption of universities' research grants from the Treasury single account. I'm guessing that was part of the issues that ASU was having.
I think that we're slowly moving towards the autonomous university system that a lot of people have clamored for. Mm-hmm. Seeing that the Treasury single account was a system that was brought for accountability.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who will kick against it, a lot, not all, are seen as people who have ulterior motives. And okay, so you might not understand what the TSA is. It's possible. It's the government's idea of streamlining payment and revenue to have one channel, for funds to come in. Before this thing was enforced, and I like the fact that it was actually conceptualized under President Goodluck Jonathan. Sadly, it didn't start it. I think President Buhari started it. And the beauty of what that thing meant is that before that, there were some parastatals. For instance, I think it was somewhere in Kaduna State where a particular ministry or parastatal was said to have over 40 accounts. Why would you do that? And it was not just in Kaduna, it was all over Nigeria.
All over, yeah.
And you find that even government agencies, sports associations, ministries,
everybody,
they all had multiple accounts. So picture a scenario where someone has been fined for a traffic infraction. Mm-hmm. And he wants to pay. The traffic agency will now say, pay into this particular bank. Don't pay into that one. And you can't rule out the fact that some of our banks also had the problem of allowing people to open all sorts of accounts. So that led to a large hole.
They're looking for customers now.
In the income of Nigeria single account. All the funds that are coming in, even from outside Nigeria, will go there. That's what led to one sports association who they were mistakenly paid $150,000 by their international body, and the local body was trying to get access to the money so that they could send it, because it was supposed to be $15,000 grant for them, and one minister said that there was no need for them to pay that money. The money spended was well spended.
Anyway, just wanted to put that out there.
So it's a fantastic thing that now the universities can now, get their grants without going through the TSA. And they can do their research. It's mainly about research grants. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure that this will be extended to other, that they've also been allowed to create their own payment platform, which is separated from the IPPIS, which is the general one that government has adopted.
Yeah. So, just moving on from that, because there's a lot of very interesting things. I just really wanted to put those things out there. Now, moving on to one of the very interesting things that happened today. The DSS today decided to arrest and detain the NLC President Joe Ajaero. So he was supposed to be on his way out from the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport to the United Kingdom on an official arrangement. They said that he was supposed to go and attend the Trade Union Congress, the World Trade Union Congress or something, and he was arrested at the airport by the DSS. And I know that this is probably going to ruffle a lot of feathers. However, wouldn't it make sense if maybe there is a bit more information around? Last week, it was the police that wanted to bring him in. This week, it is the DSS that has now decided they are not even bringing him in. They went to arrest him right there and then, meaning that it means that he was probably on a flight risk, no flight list or something. And so immediately he got to the airport, he got arrested. My own is that shouldn't there be a bit more information as to why this person is being arrested? However, it definitely means that there's something up. I know that the NLC has been going on, the TUC is going off about it. and all that, and it's really going to ruffle feathers. I feel that to let people calm down, I think that I at this point in 2024, I don't think it will be smart if they arrest someone without a lot of evidence, especially not the NLC president.
Yeah, so there are different ways to look at this thing. There are different angles to always check out a whole lot of these things. For instance, a lot of people would say to you, I've seen people's responses. There's a colleague who tweeted, he said, "We warned you people, this is state capture. This is a government that's using its powers and overusing its powers."
Capture. It's just the NLC president.
Another friend of mine that we just spoke a few minutes ago before we started the boom bar also feels the same way, something similar. Of course, these are views that are valid because this is
capture.
It didn't use state capture in his own case. He feels that the president is overusing his powers or something. There was a particular way. I don't want to misrepresent what people said, So I've seen a particular group of people who are mad at this whole thing. And I just asked one question to my friend. I said, "Hey, brother, let's talk about this. Are you saying now, just because you don't want people to think that you are overusing your powers, that if there's something this guy is culpable for, they should just look the other way?"
Exactly, that's my question.
You get. So that's that on that angle of arrested, and does it look like the government
I feel that there should
is
be
overusing their powers? Now, on the part of security, the little I know about some of their operations is that they do not announce before they do some things. It's like saying, "Oh, we heard that there's some bad boys under Kara Bridge at Berger in Lagos, on the border of Lagos and Ogun State. We're going there to raid them in 2 weeks' time." 2 minutes after that announcement, all those bad boys will pack their load and go. You get. So for certain types of operations, they do not announce. But after you have carried out your sting or your arrest, that's when you need to start talking. At least give people a glimmer of hope
reason why
that, this is not the government being ultra-vires or trying to step on people's rights. Because no matter what you feel or say, Mr. Ajaero, the leader of the Nigerian Labour Union, has rights. He has rights.
Oh, yeah,
He
does.
And at times, instead of dilly-dallying and playing around or beating around the bush, go straight to the point at times and say, "We have arrested this man on the suspicion of this crime."
Exactly.
This is 2024. We have gone past the era of the DSS or the army or the police just acting because they have the powers. You have law-abiding people. A lot of Nigerians are law-abiding. And what you owe them, is your constitutional power that you have been empowered with does not say you should withhold information completely. So it would be nice for them, for once, to come out and say, "We have evidence that Joe Ajaero of the Labour Union has committed these crimes."
At this point, by the time you're arresting him, it means that you already have something against him.
If not, there's no reason to arrest this man. That's my own. I'm not going to stick my head in the clouds and criticize and get angry. But let's look at everything from every
the police had invited him a few days ago. They invited him. He couldn't make it. A few days after, he went and he got released. Do you understand? Now, you didn't just arrest him, you detained him. There definitely it means that your investigation had gotten to a certain point where you feel that this person cannot travel out of the country. This person needs to be arrested. So, at this point, all I'm saying is there definitely needs to be some explanation as to why they arrested him. And like you said, never trust anybody. It doesn't make sense to stick your neck out for because there's an NLC president. Anybody can be anybody. We're all here where we'll see how AOCBN governor allegedly has been siphoning money and doing all sorts. We're all here when we saw a CBN governor that wanted to contest presidency. Do you understand? So if you like, you stick your head or stick what's it called for somebody. Never trust anybody. Anybody can be involved in anything. I would just feel that quickly the DSS needs to explain a lot of things. And there's been a lot of talks from the NLC how he needs to be released immediately. This is a slap on democracy, and all their regular talks. However, I will still go back to, I think that NLC, to a large extent, they use these things to just as a bargaining chip. I think that you should not stick your head. It's nice to cover up for your president and all that. However, if the man has been found culpable in a lot of things, I don't think that it is the right approach to just release him just because he's NLC president, and that's it. Yeah. Especially when there's evidence against him.
So on their own part, they're going to tell you why everything you just said does not make sense to them, and they don't agree with you because solidarity forever. An injury. An injury to one is an injury to all, and all the usual things that they would say. So again, it is almost given that when you are in labor, not like you want to have a child, when you are in the labor union, let me be more clearer, you are more or less at loggerheads with whatever government of the day.
It makes sense. However, so I don't think that your solidarity should be blind.
They also don't use those words because, again, for perception, remember that the last time they actually called a strike, it was to prove a point.
Yeah, I get your point.
And one of their things that they said, the things that they said is that, when we call strikes, people don't take us serious anymore. They actually said that.
Oh, yeah, they
did. So we need to basically do what? Flex muscles. Do you get? I would just hope that at the end of the day, for Bola Tinubu and his government, for the Nigerian Labour Union, for the DSS, the army, and the police, that all of them remember that at the back of their mind, that they should put Nigeria first.
Yeah, my own is even with the NLC people. I'm not saying you should not solidarize or they should not have solidarity for your people. However, don't let your solidarity land you in jail. Because if this person, not saying he is, if anybody, you're in solidarity, even with your family, they now catch that same family in maybe drugs or something. If you are in solidarity, it means that you two are culpable. So yeah. I think we should be coming down at times with our solidarity.
Well, that's just advice, you see, and it's strange that the same person that wonders why people are not bad enough as criminals is pleading for caution on being.
What do you mean by people are not bad enough as?
Your advice is always that this criminal should have been more criminal. No, that you shouldn't be caught this way. I
always just say have sense. If you know,
is that not your advice?
No. If you know you don't have sense, because most of 99.9% of times people still slip up. So if you know that you don't have brains, don't do crime.
Okay.
Simple.
What's the difference?
I will move on now.
Move. You have the power to move.
I will move on.
You are not immobile. Move.
Anyway, the DSS seems to be doing a lot today as they've now taken over Serap office in Abuja. According to Serap, they say that they took over their office and they were demanding and insisting on seeing the directors. Now, on this one, at least nobody was arrested. So I don't know what the noise is about. They say they want to see your directors. Let the directors come out to that.
Why wouldn't there be noise? Look, this is me and you live on the tube, as in YouTube and on radio and all of that, TV, radio. And we're talking a whole lot of stuff. So if they come through, please don't come. If they come through and say they want to see X and X, they will still shut down your office to a large extent. You get? So you think that whether your hands are clean or not, you're just going to roll over and say, I think Serap has a right to their reaction.
Okay.
That, look, you can't just storm our offices and occupy our offices because you want to see the directors and everything. Now, we don't even know. Isn't there some kind of rules of engagement?
Do you understand?
Everybody has the rules of engagement.
Okay.
Except there's an emergency or a sense of urgency to it. As the DSS invited them and they didn't come.
most of the time, I think that, I don't know if that's right or not, DSS seems to have this element of surprise almost every time.
Okay, so element of surprise. Now, where does that stand in the Nigerian constitution?
I don't know. Me, I don't, like I said, I don't know.
So what are we guided by? What are we fighting for?
If DSS look for you.
Now, regardless of how we want to look at these things and talk about it or analyze it, the DSS are empowered to do a lot of things, even some things that are not in the constitution. But our constitution still remains the ultimate. And that's why at times, when some cases get to court, they even would find themselves in bad light. So again, like I said in the previous matter, are they putting Nigeria first? Because SERAP, except now, because we must always have an open mind, except they have proof also. The same way they might have proof against Mr. Ajaero of the Labor Union, Labor Congress. Do they have proof that SERAP has maybe committed some laws of the land?
That's my own. Like, if you're going to arrest
and even
or take over someone's
even
office,
at that, this is 2024. Are we still going to be doing this Gestapo style of doing things? You can write. Look, there's no way the DSS will invite Dolupo now that she won't go.
Excuse me.
She will
please,
go.
Wait. We're on live television and radio. Please, why are you using me as example?
Why not?
Why would you use me as example?
Are you immune to invitations?
Yes, so I am, because I don't know.
So those of us that have been invited in the past is what now?
I don't know what you did. I don't know. I cannot vouch for you.
On live TV, you don't know what I did.
See what I said. See what I said earlier, that you cannot vouch for anybody. I bet the one that they invited.
So I can't vouch for you too. What if they invite you?
And they cannot invite
you that you can
cannot
accuse
me.
The devil of not being devilish enough.
They cannot invite me.
The only one that will look at the devil and say, "Maybe they say you are the devil. Why are you not being as devilish as you should be?" This is the one that DSS cannot invite.
DSS cannot invite me. They don't know me.
Don't worry, we will visit you.
They cannot.
Even the Bible said that when you were in jail, we visited you. It's written in the Bible. Then we'll get you good lawyers and then we'll let you go.
They cannot visit me because my hands are clean.
We should leave you alone.
The DSS, nobody can invite me.
So back to the matter. Exactly, you see the reaction that I got.
My hands are clean.
That's the reaction I'm talking about. So in 2024, really and truly, the rule of law is important.
Very important.
Except they're trying to tell us something else. And maybe the people who are talking about state capture and the government being ultra vires.
I think that state capture is right. A lot. However, the truth is that arrest, whether is especially like the NLC president, whether it's culpable or not, his arrest will first definitely what's it called now? His arrest will first ruffle feathers. And the honest truth is that I don't even know why NLC used to flex muscle. He's not going to be the first NLC president they were. What's it called? I don't know. Okay, don't let me say it like this. It's almost like as if activists derive joy in getting arrested. I'm not one, so I don't know. It seems that that is part of their portfolio. Like, I've been arrested in this place. I've been this. I've been that. It's something that they seem to derive some pride and joy.
It's not just activists.
However, maybe it's part of your portfolio now.
Expand the scope to include politicians, to include journalists, and also businessmen.
Wait, excuse me, please. I'm not saying that you are wrong. I'm saying that I, Dolupo, as a journalist, I'm not sure that I would derive any form of joy in getting arrested.
People will go and come back. Thanks. Nothing will happen.
I don't want to go.
People will go and come back. Nothing will happen. So, for instance, there was this joke about how some boys were hanging out, men were hanging out, that, oh, you heard that this person was invited to this agency? They say yes. So, you're not big boy too now, yeah. You know, because there's a level you attain that is your.
Do you get? So I don't know why NLC is doing their struggle. Yeah. It's always part of like DSS arrested.
That means you're not a big boy.
You're not a big boy. Like,
or a big girl. In Dolupo's case, you know, a big girl.
Sir, I will fight you.
On air. Go ahead.
I will fight you.
Go ahead.
Why is my name in this matter of DSS. Let's know
We're
what we are
at
doing.
the bar.
Let's know what we are
There's
doing.
only two of us here, and there
Let's know what
a couple of people
use
online.
yourself as example. Use yourself as example.
I've
please.
been there.
Please, that's why you can continue to use yourself as example. I don't want to be there. Is it something wrong with it?
It's not a big deal. Actually.
It is a big deal to me. Thank you very much. I don't want it in my CV. Thanks. My impeccable character and CV.
She's gonna get it.
Impeccable. I don't want anything to soil it. Thanks.
Okay.
God bless us all.
Okay.
Now,
moving on.
moving on from the matter of DSS. In the past 1-2 weeks, looks like the Nigerian Immigration Service is not smiling. I think we had talked about last week how they were deporting. I think was here Ugandan priest or was it Zambian priest? I think it was Zambian priest that they were deporting. Today, now they have announced that they are deported 61 foreigners over different irregular immigration offenses.
It's because they just woke up.
It's not news that we normally hear that Nigeria deports people. It's
because they just woke up and all of that. I remember that at some point in time, is it the policy or the theory or the school of thought about reciprocity, like to reciprocate the way a country treats your people, was not being practiced properly by Nigeria. If you're not going to give Obasanjo kudos for anything, you will that the man did his own bit on that one and everything. But at some point in time, the other Nigerian presidents also woke up to their responsibilities, from Goodluck Jonathan to Buhari. Now, it looks like finally everybody seems to be aligning with their primary responsibilities. So, you look at things at times and you laugh at why is this possible in my country?
Yeah.
Because the people who are supposed to do their jobs are not even doing it. And
the
sad part is we actually have existing laws. Even if some of us feel that a lot of those laws are archaic.
But at least use it.
But even use the one that you have.
Yeah, I agree.
So 61 people have been deported. And I hope there'll be more, because there's a lot of things happening that people just look at Nigeria as a lawless country. But we have laws. It's just enforcement that lacks. And looks like currently under Olubumi Tunji Ojo, there seems to be some kind of
the Ministry of Interior seems to have picked up a bit of vigor. Yes, I totally agree. Now, talking about people not knowing what to do and what not to do. NDLEA, who we hear in the news, is like it's a weekly thing.
It's a Sunday medicine.
Sunday med civil. They have announced the interception of consignments of cocaine and pharmaceutical opioids that were concealed in ladies' sanitary pads and hair treatment cream that was going to the UK, Ireland, and Cyprus in Lagos State.
One of the things that will continue to baffle you and me is how Nigeria is not a production hub, but a transmission hub when it comes to hard drugs.
I'm sure it's not a production hub at this point, because this was in Nigeria.
Cocaine and all those opioids, they're imported. Remember how many times they bust them and bring them in?
This one was even Nigeria.
Yeah, they're imported and redistributed through Nigeria because of our lax borders and lax systems. The bulk of these drugs are not manufactured in Nigeria. One of the things that Nigeria is, one of the banned substances that Nigeria currently is weed, Indo, whatever name you want to call it. But when it comes to
Indo what?
Indomania, not Indonesia.
I don't know. The Indomie.
No, it's not Indomie. It's weed. Igbo or whatever name they want to call it. But the thing is that Nigeria is like a hub for redistribution of drugs, and it's so sad. So they get it in from some parts of South America, where the bulk of these things are actually grown. It gets into Nigeria and it's redistributed.
So it's interesting.
Nigeria is a hub for it. And so it's so sad, it's so disgraceful and disgusting.
You know what? And still amazes me. I won't call it amazing, but it's disturbing. Is the fact that every week people are being busted for these things. However, people don't stop. Does it mean that there's still a large chunk that still travel successfully?
Yes. It means that they can catch as many as you want. In fact, there's a school of thought that believes that it's only the people that don't settle that are caught. It's a school of thought. It doesn't mean they are right. I'm just saying it because we hear it also. But the truth is, if you look at how the destination points, places in Europe and Asia, people are still getting those drugs. The opioids are getting there. Then you look at America, and so America will not get anything from Nigeria because the production points are closer to them. The Colombias and the rest, it's but it's a terrible thing. There's a scourge. It's killing a whole generation of people.
It's everywhere
and
these days.
The drug trade seems to be thriving. The other day they were talking about a group of people who actually got their own submarine to move drugs en masse into, I think it was the USA or so, but they were intercepted by the Coast Guards or something.
It's really crazy.
So again,
like seriously, in creams and sanitary towels, are you joking?
Criminals will constantly evolve.
So see what I'm saying.
And they'll try to be one step ahead.
See,
of
this
you.
is one that pisses me off.
Yeah.
You are carrying sanitary towel en masse.
Okay.
From Nigeria to the UK to Ireland. Is it that they don't sell sanitary towels?
Is it that we can't export them? Look at it from the part of it, but remove the drug out of it. Is it that those items are banned in those places?
Okay.
So,
I'm just wondering, like,
look at it first from the angle of business.
That alone
Exporting,
might probably even be a red flag. Like, why are you transporting so much sanitary towels from Nigeria to another country that they probably also produce?
So, some of the items that are produced in Nigeria are still being imported.
Yeah,
it's international trade. It's international trade. If for instance, in Kenya, I know they export flowers to Europe a lot and other things. If the thing has flowers, now what you gonna do about it? You have to be on top of your game. So the fact that some things are being exported to a country does not mean that the country does not have it. It just shows that there's this capacity for international trade, and most times you pray that it is a two-way street. You import and export, and this is where we are. A lot of people are just going to continually exploit the system to make a quick dollar or two.
Okay, now moving on from that, now we're going to another very interesting topic, and this particular one is NAFDAC. This is about NAFDAC and in particular pastor and a social media personality. So this is between NAFDAC, a pastor Fufeyin, and another person who people know as very dark black man, if I'm correct. So apparently this particular very dark black man had written a lot of petitions against Pastor Fufeyin, and he was saying that according to him, the man is selling some things, and even in a video had said that some of the things that they're selling are NAFDAC approved. This media personality decided to purchase some of these things and basically put it out that these things are not working. I think the pastor had even sued him at some point, and there's a bit of back and forth. However, NAFDAC has now come. First things first, they had shut down the bottled water factory that this particular thing is coming from. They're saying that there's nothing he's selling that has a NAFDAC number on it. However, there was a video where he actually admitted it, that he's misrepresenting NAFDAC, and NAFDAC does not know anything about it. Now, before we move,
Move.
Move. Not before. No, before you comment, I wanted to reel out the things that they're selling, the products. Miracle and healing water. Yeah, that's probably vague, so you might not know. River Jordan water. So my question is, are they importing water from River Jordan?
It's possible.
The miracle water from the pool of Bethsaida. Okay. A new beginning, Mount Carmel miracle water. Water of life. Miracle water from pool of Bethsaida 1 liter. A new beginning pool of Bethsaida. How this Bethsaida water would dry up. And father smelled perfume. Now, just a clarification as a Christian, though. That pool is Bethesda, not Bethsaida. I don't know why anybody calls it Bethsaida, though, but it's actually Bethesda. Just when two. How big is this pool? I've not been to Israel. People say that it's actually right there in Israel. If you're a Christian, you know the story of the pool of Bethesda. However, or Bethsaida, whatever it is that people are calling it. However, if you are selling it this much, won't the pool dry up?
No, it won't. It won't, because it's divine. Okay. According to them. It's supposed to be divine. But please don't take my word for it. Now, let's be very honest with ourselves. We can go on and on about these things. The first thing is that religion is such a touchy subject. And it's because a lot of people don't think with their brains. They don't read their Bible or their Quran. They just follow another individual like them, be it a general overseer or a pastor or imam. However, the best thing you can do for yourself is to pick your holy book and try to read from cover to cover. Or whenever someone says something that you're in doubt of, now you don't even need stress. Get on the internet and search your holy book online to get the story. Now, very dark black man, you don't need to like him. He has his own flaws, because of course he's human. He's human. But in this particular matter, he has followed up within the confines of the law. And when he was calling out this pastor, rather than respond to him or prove that he's wrong, the pastor decided to sue him, thinking that they can shut him down. Now, there's another story that I'm linking to this one.
Yeah.
There's a man, amazing guy from the southeast part of Nigeria, who has been arrested for months now for calling out a pastor from the southeast. He's Igbo. He's called out another Igbo pastor for something similar to this. And he's been locked up for months.
Wow.
Every attempt to get him out is not working. Within this country, that a pastor can actually have someone locked up. The first question I have for that pastor, what would Jesus do? The people that called him a thief and called him tax collector, lover of vile people, what did Jesus do to them? He did nothing of such. But hey, let's put that aside. Now back to the very dark black man and Pastor Fufeyin. A lot of Nigerian pastors have made a lot of money. And I think that some of them worship money more than they worship God. And they lord it over you. So if you talk about them like me and Dolupo are doing now, we're treading on dangerous ground. Because
you can't even read your Bible properly to even get the correct spelling.
Because telling people to read the Bible is a crime, apparently.
It's not even Bethsaida,
and they're going to arrest you. They will go and they will get.
Oh my God.
They will get. And you know, in this country, they will get a court order, and the police, the Nigerian police,
will carry out those orders.
They'll carry those orders and go out.
See,
now let's talk about those products. You have healing water for this, and that. I saw a video from the same pastor. Right now, at my age, my level of exposure, I am not afraid to speak the truth. Dear pastor, I saw a video where you are saying that people would bring a minimum of 30,000 naira.
For what? What
and
for?
You will give them this currency. and they will keep this currency for 3 months. And when they keep that currency for 3 months, their people will be calling them money doubler, that their money would increase.
So
now
they bring 30,000. What's that 30,000 for?
The currency
insurance?
In that video was a 1,000 naira note. He said, you won't spend this one, you will keep this one, you will spend that. I watched that video. It's not doctored.
Are we performing magic now?
And I said to myself, nowhere in the Bible
are we performing
that
magic?
Jesus Christ, the Son of God, nowhere in the Bible did he ask people to do all of this. In fact, when people started trading in the church, he got violent. That's the only part of the Bible where I remember Christ got violent. He got his whip and he chased them out. He said, my house shall be a house of prayer. A house of prayer. You have turned it into a business center. So, Pastor, you are here telling people that the minimum they will bring is 30,000 naira.
Then maybe if these
biblical?
things that he's selling, if they were not sold, do you understand? If they were free, I think you can't blame people if your pastor.
Let's go with your theory. Let's go.
Do you understand? I'm saying that it won't be so horrible.
Wait. Let's go with your theory.
Mm-hmm.
You have a big church, your pastor, whoever you are, and you have this water that really doubles people's money and gives them the blessings that they want. People who are looking for the fruit of the womb. Nigerians have a special way of calling people who want to be pregnant. They call it fruit of the womb.
The fruit of, and then there's one soap that if they use that soap.
So forget that. Let's say you now take all of that and give it to the people free.
Yeah.
And they start to have a lot of children.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens?
More
people will come to your church.
More people will come
in search of, and they will be paying their tithes.
And
they will pay their offering, which we know that is your.
I understand. Just what I'm saying.
I'm going with. I was expanding your theory.
It's not as
Dolupo. If you had done that, nobody would write a petition against.
That's my point.
I remember.
That is my point.
I remember that growing up, whatever church you had attended, even the Redeemed Church, even Pentecostal churches, they'll tell you bring water at times. And they will bless it for you. But they don't ask you to bring money. And the pastor is not selling the water to you. In fact, a lot of churches, the white garment churches, you will write your name on your bottle. They can put it in the altar for 7 days or 21 days. Then you come back and pick your water.
Yeah.
And you can drink
I
it
get
or
your
bathe
point.
with
The one
it.
that I know that is very common, especially with Pentecostal churches, maybe there's an anointing service. They'll tell you to bring
your own oil.
Your own oil. Is sprayed over, and then you take it back to your house.
Your own oil. So the impartation is supposed to be spiritual. You understand? It's the same way you go to the CSE churches, and it's similar. But hardly ever have I heard them ask people to pay for that water.
You are selling miracle soap.
Jesus Christ performed miracles without collecting a dime. Why are people bringing 30,000 naira to collect miracle money? Now, if you are advised, you see, a lot of pastors need to go and get lawyers. Everything you do, let it be within the confines of law. Do you know that you are trading in the Nigerian currency is a crime? Do you know it's a crime?
Oh my God. So according to the pastor, he has not replied now. He has said that he had denied allegations that his ministry has been using the name of NAFDAC to mislead the public. They're saying that according to their law-abiding institution and they respect the laws of the land and that whatever it is they're doing is under section 38 and 39 of the Nigerian Constitution, which guarantees freedom of religion and expression.
Did that also guarantee
that they're using spiritual items as an expression of their religious
your
beliefs?
Lawyers will put you in trouble, sir. Wallahi. Your lawyers will put you in trouble. Maybe you have sued Very Dark Black Man. Follow up the case. Do you know how many lawyers have come up to defend that guy for free? Do you know how many? Don't worry. Look, we've said enough on this matter. We need to talk about the Paralympics and how great because it's on our headline.
Oh, it definitely is. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Okay, you know what? Let's go back. Let's do a bit of sports. Then if we have time, we'll come back because there's a lot of drama happening in the Labour Party and the
we still have time now. We didn't start.
No, actually, we actually don't. Anyway,
we do.
Go back to yes. That's not a lot of time. Now, moving on from that. Team Nigeria has won 7 medals at the Paralympics. However, people are saying that these 7 medals that they won is the worst that has ever been. This is their worst outing ever, and they won 7 medals. I'm just saying, back to my conversation of a few days ago, let us inject more money into training and camping and welfare of Paralympians, and let's know that those are the people that we are taking to Olympics every year.
Before the Paralympics in Paris, Nigeria had already won 80 medals at the Paralympics. 80. From Barcelona 92 to Tokyo. Mm-hmm. So, at this one, they could only add 7. What that means is that they've had a bigger haul from the previous. Now, before Paris 2024 Paralympics, Nigeria, of the 80 medals we have won, 40 were gold.
Yeah.
So, I get it where people say that Nigeria did not do well and finished 40. We're 40th on the medals table. But the Paralympics and the Olympics, in my own book, are the same.
Yep.
You might say that some people are able-bodied or whatever. That's your story. The bottom line is that they are flying the Nigerian flag.
And they are getting medals.
So and they got 7.
Let's do what you are doing.
If at the Summer Olympics
they had gotten 7 medals, you know, even 7 bronze,
we will not rest. If for choke.
Yeah.
Nigeria won 7 medals. Now, Nigeria has won 7 medals at the Paralympics, and where's the celebration?
Yeah.
For me, I'm taking this opportunity.
They are the original heroes.
To speak to the president of Nigeria, to speak to his wife, and because I know she likes celebrating women when they do very well. And there's an aspect of this Olympics that you must look at. The bulk of Nigeria's medals were provided by women.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, the bulk of them, I think.
If not all.
It's just one person in yes, I think is Ogukule that, yes, the bulk of it.
So that's another angle to what I'm bringing to the table. So please name the streets that you want to name after them now.
Yeah.
Give them all that money that you want to give them, and just let them
feel special.
Yeah,
yes,
because they're already talking about the World Championships next year and how they want to start training again. You see how dedicated they are.
Yeah.
So a big shout out to every athlete,
all their coaches,
even the able-bodied ones. A big shout out to you guys, because it's not easy. But especially to the Paralympians, you are the real deal.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. I'm talking about the Olympics. Just before we leave that part, the Eiffel family is said to be fighting the government at the moment, as the government is planning to leave the Olympics logo on the Eiffel Tower. And what they're saying is that's not the original intention of the Eiffel Tower.
So can they explain to us the essence of the Olympics rings on the Eiffel Tower?
Because the Eiffel Tower is way much more than just the Olympics. So that's what they're talking about there. Also, just wanted to put it out there, the Super Eagles over the weekend definitely gave Nigerians something to talk about. They definitely had a beautiful showing, especially against a team that had just defeated them a few months ago.
I like to plead caution every time when it comes to this thing, but it was an amazing period. It was an unprecedented result to something we didn't see coming. A big shout out to the incoming African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman, for being all over the place and getting results with it. Massive shout out to Victor Osimhen. He's moving closer to Yakini's record, of being the highest goal scorer for Nigeria at the national level. A shout out to Olaino, Truth Ekong.
Everybody on that team was.
These guys were amazing.
Really well.
The coaching crew, the new assistant coaches that came through, Ijabol himself, Daniel Ogumodede, the coach of Rangers.
Fidelis
Electrical. All of them just brought it. It was a fantastic synergy. It was a fantastic result. But I'm holding my breath to see that we have fully exorcised this demon that came against the team. When they go to Rwanda, they're there already now and get a result. The result is not a draw. On a good day, player by player analysis.
Yes, now.
We should
What's
not be
that?
struggling against Rwanda.
You know, the funny thing is that Nigerian team right now, they have like world-class players.
Yeah.
They actually do have world-class
You're
players.
talking about an Ademola Lookman that is on the short list of the Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or is the only African on that list. Are you joking?
What are you talking about here? You're talking about a Victor Osimhen, who is the highest paid player on loan, no, but he's still the highest paid player in Turkey. Do you understand? Are you playing?
These boys, and then you saw them play on Saturday, and it was fantastic.
Victor Boniface,
Fantastic.
that his team went unbeaten for like forever.
Yeah, fantastic.
And won
football.
about 3 or 4 trophies.
Trophies.
He's in that team. Awoni, all of them, they are there. You know? I better go.
They just need to keep up the momentum, and I think that they're going to do
And shout out to
amazing.
Austin Egba.
Yeah, definitely. He
He
definitely
needs
needs
all the
something.
support.
Yes, he definitely needs all the support. Quickly before we go, let's come back as the EFCC has arrested a man that was pretending to be an NNPCL director over 100 million naira fraud.
Yeah,
NNPC
one particular
director.
scam that he pulled off,
How now?
allegedly pulled off, was worth 47 million naira. And you know the sad thing about this particular guy is that his accomplice is dead. So, alleged accomplice, sorry, my glasses is really in the way. His alleged accomplice is dead. I need to...
Anyway, moving on from that quickly, INEC has now opened a portal for Ondo government polls media accreditation. Now, moving on to quickly before we go, moving on to a bit of politics stories. First talking about INEC. Tanko, who's supposed to be the Labour Party, I think it's the Labour Party.
It's more of Peter Obi's
spokesperson.
He was on the Boomba with us a couple of months ago.
Yeah, he was. Now he's now saying that only INEC can decide the legality of what Governor Alex Soti did in the NEC meeting that they convened.
Well, we'll wait for that decision by INEC. I also believe that Governor Oti does not have any legal standing or
Yeah, because now more states
did.
are coming out to say that it is not in there.
I feel it's extremely illegal and ultra-virus.
They're saying that now. Still talking about it, the Labour Party has now said categorically today that they're not giving automatic tickets to Peter Obi and
Alex Oti.
and Dati anymore.
And Alex Oti. Because Alex Oti is a governor.
That nobody has automatic. So is there trouble in paradise?
No, it's just the party resetting itself and making those people also realize that it's a party.
At the end of the day, yeah. So we'll see where that is going. Now, before we leave, there's still drama still happening with politics, as Kwakwas over the weekend has said that PDP is dead in Nigeria.
Well, he's just said his own. He's in and out member of PDP. He has started his own Kwankwasia movement. He has his own NNPP.
But you will not blame the man. The man is doing a lot.
It's just his
movement.
opinion. If you say the PDP is dead, they have governors in Delta State.
Yeah.
They have governors in the East. They have governors in the South. They have governors in the North. They have governors in the Southwest. How many parties have the spread that PDP have? I'm not talking about number now. If APC has a spread of every geopolitical zone, PDP also has it.
Yeah.
The governor of Edo in the South
House of Assembly
is PDP. How can you say that party is dead? I disagree with Alhaji Kwankwaso.
He was saying that was the reason why he had left. However, the PDP, through his spokesperson, has now said that, or has replied him that he's a failed and inconsequential politician.
Is it a fighting stuff?
He's a fighting stuff.
The man was just saying, please, error.
They definitely.
It was his opinion.
Yeah, but my own is that there's always an equal and opposite reaction.
Look,
whatever it
no
is,
matter what
you said
happens,
what you said.
He was a presidential candidate, and he came fourth. He was fourth. It's a big deal.
And they have a whole governor.
The votes that he had, if you had added it to your presidential candidate, maybe, just maybe,
it would have
your candidate would have become president. So
you can't call him inconsequential.
No, you can't.
The NNPP now has, at least they have a governor. Also, Atiku's aide has also now come out to say that Kwakwanso was misquoted, saying that
That's
he is
better.
part of the people that are going to be part of a merger in 2027. However, Kwakwanso, which maybe it was what he was talking about was in Hausa, but there was a direct direct interpretation of what he said that I read. I'm not sure the man sounded like he was going back to the PDP.
Well, politicians never say never with them.
True, sha. That was FD. You can't even what's it called? But that looks like that's all the drama that is happening with all the politics around. Also, Bauchi governor has sacked the health commissioner and appointed 3 more commissioners. Sadly, about 50 people also died in Niger State, where there was a collision.
Collision.
Yeah, between a tanker and that had fuel and a truck that had over 50 cows as well. So cows also died in that. There was lots of people. It was such a very sad one. First thing on a Monday morning. Anyway, on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead. Peace.